Fever, and we're going to go ahead and discuss another week of Marvel Strike Force with you all. Hope you enjoy this here. Today's topics is really going to be hitting on Red Hulk. I think it's going to be the feature of our conversation this morning. We're definitely going to go into just our personal experiences with it. We'll talk about the War Scourge event, kind of, what's been going on with that and what the best practices. We'll try to learn some different cards. So I'm going to pick his brain here as he's been going pretty hard on it. And also I got a video. Not sure if I'm going to squeeze it into this first recording of the damage control, but definitely it is going to be uploaded one way or another. So catch the video. I have some highlights of Red Hulk in action. What's his Gamma team versus the Dorm Hold on our recent war experiences. That being said, let's introduce Darth. How you doing, Darth?
Red Hulk is here. Woo!
Yeah, man. So he's here, came with the vengeance, and it's I'm having a lot of fun with it, man. So let's get our gameplay up and just kind of break down this past week. So this past week, I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday. I remember exactly when he dropped.
Tuesday, I think. Red Hulk?
Yeah, Red Hulk, the Scourge.
Tuesday. It started Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for me.
It was on Tuesday. Okay. And it's funny to see how I don't even remember the day because I just kind of... I went... Oh, you know what? It was Tuesday. Okay, I remember I was going to soccer practice. We're picking up my daughter, I think. I was doing one of my dad duties. And I remember it dropped. And I know, like, with us, I did try to race you to try to get it. And, I went into, like, the cell... No cell kind of zone there where I just wasn't getting good reception. But anyways, but I was able to lock him. I think it was like level difficulty 7 or something like that. It was almost like, it felt like it was pretty much autoplay a little bit within the levels that I have my characters at. And I think it was the same for you, right? I mean, did you autoplay it or did you manually kind of play the first run?
Play the first run.
Yeah.
Just to, gotta get the first experience, and you wanna use those characters and have fun.
Correct.
I was looking forward to playing with my hero Asgardians because, for months they've just been sitting on defense, so...
Yeah. No, yeah, I kind of like it wasn't like a full focus for me because, again, I was, in my daughter's parking lot trying to play and stuff and wait for her and communicate with the wife and stuff and then play in between. So I was multitasking. But anyways, I got them unlocked, and then as soon as I did that, I try to get a little bit more serious just to get the reward side of things to get completed. I wanted to make sure I got all my milestones, so I did that. So that's kind of the second run is where I got the 1.4 score. And I haven't dug deep into really pushing hard as far as getting into my best score yet. I started doing this. Look, I just hit new run because I haven't even done anything. But I questions for you. This is where I started setting it up at. And I guess we have time to break it down here. The real true question that I have for you, because I know you've been doing good, and I wish, I'll share your score here on the screen in a second, but just tell me your idea as far as, like, when you're setting up your Scourges, are you just kind of going based upon trying to get high in expected run, or are you really kind of digging deep to make sure, like, you can get through it all, like you're picking the appropriate one that you're not going to, like, put yourself in a corner there?
That's the hard choice there. So, like, I've done maybe 8 full runs now, and I've changed up my things every time, deciding what was hard and what was easier and what I felt was going to make life a little too hard for my roster right now. And my best run I came up with had 309 Scourge points, so just a few more points than you have there. And that score netted me like 3,044,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
But the what I found for myself is that I could put on the 40% max health and things like that, and I could put on most of the Scourges. But the Scourges that I found to be the most difficult were the ones that add an energy cost to your special, your ultimate too, but mostly the special. Because I found that I was using the special a lot on a lot of my characters to get through a lot of these Scourges. And let's be honest, a lot of your decisions on what Scourges you can run and how good of a run you're going to be able to do are really going to be dependent on your skill roster. Nodes 8 and 9 are the toughest nodes of the whole Scourge, I believe. because your skill roster is the most limited section from quality characters that you can pull from. So I thought I was stuck, but right now what I'm doing is I'm working on my Taskmaster and my Kingpin, hoping to at least bring up a good enough burner team to do a little bit of work for me in one of those nodes, so that I can save my main team a little bit of damage and a little bit of time. So that's where I'm at right now. As far as the Scourges are concerned, though, like I said, I put on most of them. Notably, the ones I did not put on for my run yet are the Rope-a-Dope and Energy Absorption, where the Rope-a-Dope's the one where if they have Vulnerable at the end of their turn, they get Deflect, Deathproof, Safeguard, and Defense up. And the Energy Absorption is the one where they remove all their negative effects and heal. A Kestrel passive, basically, for every character out there. And those are two huge ones that I don't think I can overcome. I'm going to try the Rope-a-Dope one on my next run. Like, that's all I'm going to do is add Rope-a-Dope, which will bring my score to 3.2 million. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through it.
Yeah. So this is your current high score right here? The 3 point...
That's it. That's the one. That's the best I've been able to do so far.
Damn, man. Well, congrats on you hitting that. I mean, I haven't done it yet. I'm over here selecting certain scourges that I have no idea what to expect, truthfully. So appreciate the insight, and yeah, it sounds like the skill one is the one that really was giving you trouble.
Yes, very much so. Everything else was pretty easy. Honestly, Gamma, even with all the Scourges, I just ran a full Gamma team for both the bio nodes, no problems. Even with all the Scourges, I ran Young Avengers for both of the Avengers nodes and didn't run into any problems. And my Young Avengers aren't huge. They're Gear 15, but I'm the only one Gear 16. I don't have them put through the roof or anything like that. And then Villains was easy, like we talked about last week with the good pool of high quality characters in the section. And then you get to skill. And for someone like me, I never even brought up my Red Guardian. Like, my skill roster lacks very much so, except for my raid team. And I tell you, like, to get through the last run I did, I had to switch up my strategy for Node 10. Because my strategy for Node 10 was bring in the Ravagers with Hawkeye and clean up a few characters and then go in with my Hero Asgardians and finish up. But because Hawkeye's a skill character and each one of the nodes on 8 and 9 has a pre-taunting tank, I used him and Zemo on individual nodes to help me get through those nodes and left myself a little dry for the 10th node. But it wasn't as bad as it could have been because the characters that you actually have for nodes 5 and 10 are pretty high quality characters. Not all of Wave 1 is, but Hulk and Iron Man are definitely high quality characters. Black Widow to speed them up. So there's enough in those nodes to get through, at least for me. But for an overall, we saw that 3.04 million score. It leaves me in place 754. So I have a feeling if I don't improve on it, that I will not maybe make it into the top 2,500, which is my realistic goal. I would like to get a 6-star first go around.
And that 6-star is going to get you in this, what, top 750 or top 1,000?
2,500.
2,500, okay.
Yeah, everybody in the top 2,500, I think you'll net 6-star.
I think it'd be okay with that, I believe. And it's funny because where I get at and I get worried, like if I was sitting in your seat right now, it's just looking at the clock, right? It's having like a big lead in whatever sport game you're looking at, and you're just looking at the clock waiting for it to expire so that the game can just end where you're at. So I don't know, man. It's one of those things that, yeah, you got to definitely be mindful and just keep kind of checking to see where you fall within the rankings. All right, man. So that's all going on. What up?
We'll say this Scourge has been 10 times more fun than I thought the Famine Scourge was. Or the Pestilence Scourge, for that matter. I did well on the Pestilence Scourge, not on the Famine Scourge, but this Scourge has been a lot more fun for me personally.
You know, I just didn't pay attention to names, but there you go. Like the number one place person says, I love Scourge.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. Yeah.
and I'm kind of curious. Enter Storky in the top five. See if these names, anybody kind of sticks out. Of course, if you're looking for like, for me, I'm looking for Tadano. I thought I saw him up
I love
there.
I love Dorky Dad, but is that Dorky Dad or is that Misaki?
I don't know, man. That's interesting.
So I don't want to talk about it anymore. Besides that, but like, I'm so disappointed. I guess.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, because I was speaking of that, the director had a video, and going back to the nodes. Did you catch his video? I haven't looked at Dorky's yet because again, I'm gonna haven't done any homework until right now, chatting with you, kind of trying to get a feel what the Scourge's experiences was for you, and then I'll start looking into the gameplay style. I just kind of did it on my own the first two times here, working on my third run. But I guess the question I had is like kind of going into the five, because in the past ones, 5 and 10 was always kind of like kind of the make or break. You got had to do kind of setups to it. Did you do anything? It didn't sound like you kind of got like your when you went into the
You know,
Avengers that you didn't go on here to get Thor fully charged and ready for Node 5. You didn't have to worry about that.
there was no need for that. So, I mean, I didn't say it, but everybody knows we've talked about it in chat and things like that. But Thor is definitely your MVP,
Yeah.
and so maybe that's different for me. Maybe my 7 red star Thor was just squashing the competition so fast that I have a little bit of a different experience than everybody else.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know one of the theories off of it, like a second MVP, and you mentioned using him is Hawkeye.
Mhm.
I noticed that with his abilities that he has on there and that turn blind meter and the blinds and certain stuff that can kind of cause problems here on certain nodes for the defense opponents. But yeah, there was something interesting over here, and I really I didn't.
And
Yeah,
Dwartik's, I did watch that, and he uses Hawkeye in the last node to
yeah.
blind Omega Red or whatever node that is in the skill node. I can't remember what it is. I think it is that whatever wherever there's an Omega Red. I thought I saw that.
Okay, yeah. All right. Just things to think about. Yeah, so there's different styles. I mean, and I guess it gets to the point there that there's a lot of different ways of attacking it depending on your own individual roster setup, because some people went in heavily using Ravengers, because I kind of heard that where people were going pretty hard with using them, and other people didn't have to because they had a big Asgardian squad. So it's interesting. Overall, I think it hit it off the park as far as being a good, true experience, positive experiences. I really didn't hear any negative stuff, so I'm happy for that. I'm happy for Scopely because there's been a lot of negative talk within the last week and about the patch updates and what's been kind of missing within the gameplay style because the quality of life isn't there at all when you're trying to find that find button is where my pet peeve is. But I've been able to manage without it now, and I have my own way of finding stuff. I just look at the icons and what I need on the certain stuff. Um, Let me see what else about last week. I guess there's one thing we're talking about quality of life. I just wanted to bring it up within our show, really bring it up to you. You probably know, but this is just a friendly reminder that Kate Bishop is on Mystic 3.9. So
Yep.
definitely a high character that I would definitely recommend you guys to go and try to push. And I bring up that reminder because I was right on the short end of it where I was like I forgot what the number it is to rank up, but I just needed a few more shards to get her up to the 6 star level. And I
Yeah.
was like, snap, there she is. I didn't see the announcement about her dropping in or anything like that, so definitely just wanted to share that. We'll jump right into this coming week here. So let me find the blog post because it was real short and it's to
It's
the point,
got
man.
another one of my favorite things.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited for you, man. You're having a good time with the Scourges, and then to top it all off, once the Scourge is running off and closing down, we got something else for you to keep your grind, keep your appetite going, and this is the Tower, Avengers Tower mode. So in this one right here, I did want you to kind of break it down, just in theory. I'll kind of let you save a breath a little bit, but just talk about, as best of my knowledge, on what you want to do when you go into the tower mode. The first day is really using up all of the roster as best as you can. Usually it's almost like auto blitzing in a way where you're just kind of
Yeah.
climbing up the ladder. I mean, and I would say it's funny. It's almost like the first day you can use all 40 or
Mhm.
42 or whatever your lineup is. and then you can second day you start using maybe like half of the roster. But basically, was it is a floor 60? Is that I don't know if it has it on here,
I think
but
it's 450 or 60 is the one where it quits, where it'll start resetting you when you lose.
when you lose, right? Yeah. So basically, the theory is just keep using up all your rosters all the way till you get to that one mark there where you don't have to have the fear of dropping down if you lose. And then once you get up to that 60 mark, I think that's probably like around day three. Because this is it's like a week event, isn't it? I'm trying to see if it has.
That's usually it's a week long, I think, and 7 days, I think, is what it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, when you're kind of in the midway of the week and you climb up past that 50, 60 mark, that's kind of where the theory crafting, in my opinion, really kicks in, right? Where you start kind of pre planning, okay, what teams do I want to use on certain opponents as you can forecast which one is on level 61 and 62 and so forth. And I think that's when the roster just really shrinks, within you get like a
Right.
top 10, right? Then at that point, when you're on the heavy hitting, you're just looking at your top 10, see what you can knock in. And later on, as you grind up harder, then becomes your top five and so forth. So the question I have for you, Darth, is because the theory is you just keep going pushing as high as you can go up the ladder, or some people have the concept of like, hey, you know what, I'm not going to push as hard or grind as hard, like one match, three, 5 matches a day. I'm going to drop down back to that floor 60 or 50 and climb back up. So what's your take? Are you going for points where you're going to just kind of drop on purpose and climb back up, or are you going to push as high as you can?
I like to do that. I like to go as high as I can, and then I like to wait until I either can't go any further or until I lose. And I try to be quick enough that I don't do that on the last day. That I've pushed to my limit before the last 48 hours of the event or so that I can lose and reset back down, and then grab those extra points at the end just to maybe either keep or move up one level of your rewards at the end of the week. But I mean, I have so much more available to me this time than I did last time Tower ran. I think the last time Tower ran, I didn't even have Dormammu unlocked. I want to say that the Darkhold team was just brand new, if it was even all the way out. So since then, the teams that I've either beefed up or added to my roster are definitely high-end, top-tier teams. So I'm extra excited because now we've got Unlimited, we've got Gamma, we've got the Bionic Avengers, which hold the place, which and things like that are going to be fun. Your Hero as Guardians, all these teams that you use in a certain mode sometimes and don't use all the time, you're going to get to pull out of their toy box and play with them again in a different way. And that is very appealing to me. I'm excited to use my Hero as Guardians on the Avengers Tower like I was to use them in Scourge mode. Um, and I'm thrilled. Like I just didn't have the characters at the end to push up to the highest levels last time. I think I ended at like 91 or 92 out of 100. And I'm hoping that this time I have enough to push even farther and maybe to the end without there being the top tier character that I just don't have yet, like Dormammu. Because I remember at a point before I had Dormammu, I would start to get to a point where there were Dormammus, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. My roster couldn't complete those nodes. So I'm very happy because we do have a lot of high end teams. If you think about it now, even the old high end teams, Infinity Watch is still going to hold a lot of water in tower mode. It's I'm almost as excited for this as I was for Red Hulk this week.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I kind of I wouldn't say it's like my least favorite game mode, but I kind of had come with that tone in previous shows and conversations with you that it's something that I kind of cringe at because of the grinding of it. But as I kind of think about it and everything that you just hit on right there, I'm feeling the excitement as well. As far as like I'm real curious on like you hit on it. You got so much new toys to play with, and I'm definitely really gonna kind of get into the whole crafting of just seeing how I can even mix match some of them as you get to the higher levels, because there's
Right.
yeah, it's going to be very interesting because I think now the fact that there's now you got a little bit more, especially with Red Hole coming in there as far as killing the revives and stuff like that. Like the Dormammu isn't going to be as intimidating at all anymore. So it's interesting. So it's good. So I'm excited for that as well. So we'll definitely probably try to get some recordings on that. Maybe that's something you and I can do during the evenings. Kind of do some tower runs. Um,
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, something with Cosmic, because that can add to the Cosmic. Well, this will be at the end. Cosmic Crucible, is that another thing? I kind of skipped right over it because it's not on this blog post here, but Cosmic Crucible kind of segue. That's going to be starting up on Monday. We'll kind of jump into the gameplay of that in a second. But so definitely be ready for Cosmic Crucible. Tower is going to be on Friday at the end of the week. And in between, there ain't much going on other than currently what's going on, and I think that's why there's no news. But it's really about Spider Weaver, and so I'm gonna jump back into the gameplay here. We'll just kind of talk about her for a second. And let's segue because we're gonna do a second video here. I'm gonna kind of talk about our war. We're gonna bring back war instincts. Um, so definitely catch that. But this particular character, I have her on defense. I haven't played with her too much. I mean, have you? First impressions.
You
When did you? You know how we're forced to play. You know these first nodes here, and let's just do it. Let's see. Do I have the energy for it? I wanna. I don't wanna auto
you
win.
do.
I want to bring up the one. Is it the first one where it brings up her Spider-Man 2099?
Noir, yeah.
It
The
is.
first one is just the three Tangled Web members.
Okay. Because man, I the little of it that came up on here and the experiences off of it. I mean, they just seem like they're going to be a pretty fun team. I know their trade is
2099 looks nuts.
yeah, right. So that's why I want to bring it on. Their main trade is going to be for Cosmic Crucible, and that's kind of why I'm segueing and talking about this here. I'm kind of anxious. Do you know, or I haven't caught any rumors. I haven't even dug deep into it. Normally, I kind of do that during the week. But do you know who's going to be the next character that's going to be released?
Spider-Man 2099 is going to be the new month-long character.
Oh, that's right. So he's the
I've
month
heard
long.
that from a couple different sources. Yeah, he's going to be the month-long release.
That's right. I have
So
heard that too.
we'll get offers for him middle of next week probably
Okay.
because they'll do it before the end of the month, before they start the month-long event.
Yeah. Okay. So this is 99 right here. This first go, and the thing that I've noticed is just how quick he is. I mean,
He's
this ultimate right here, where he's applying slow for 2 turns. This is just kind of you getting better. I mean, being able to just start controlling the match against opponents. But this is like on all enemies right there.
I've not read yet. This is, but that's what I pulled from this is that he looks OP. Like 2099 looks like he's going to be the amazing character of that trio. It is gonna be Spider Weaver, but I mean, like I think her big thing is her passive.
Hmm.
Like that's her huge deal, and it's a huge deal when people can't hit you. Like that's all the survivability you ever want because not only are they, it's better than an ability block because they're using that ability up, and they're still missing. Um, so like that part's gonna be cool, but 2099's kit looks and acts crazy. And if as you're reading that, read what it does on crit, like prolonged negative effects except for stun, ability block, and trauma. Prolonged bleeds. Like his his kit looks good enough that what is on Crucible only doesn't appear to be make or break. It's kind of like Unlimited. Like a lot of the Crucible tags on Unlimited make them great at Crucible, but they don't take away so much from them in other gameplay that they're not as effective or useful in other areas.
Yeah. I'm just gonna autoplay all this. I mean, the reason, because I was curious, I saw some the animation was the other side of things that I was just kind of thinking about when bringing up this team. There was a bunch of talk on Reddit just about how amazing the animations that they put on this team is, and I guess you know how they always have a pretty interesting ending one, like what do you call it, the death
The kill
animation.
move, dude, yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, so
Like I really enjoy this game. Um, I find a lot of fun in it, which is why I play it so much. Which is why I try not to get too negative with it all, because I do glean a lot of joy off of this. And stuff like this is why, like, I can't be the negative Nancy that a lot of people are right now. I can't find the outrage anymore in things like not being able to find the piece of gear I need with the find button for a few weeks.
hmm
I think that. I think that there's I get it. It's an irritation and stuff like that. But I guess I'm a dad. You think about it like one of your kids. Your kids mess up, but you love them anyway, right? And you can
Mm-hmm.
forgive them for lots of stuff. That's kind of how I feel about with Scopely and with the game right now.
I got you. That's a good
And
way, and that's kind of how I'm gonna end the show a little bit here in this first part of our morning. Is there was something that I really meant to talk about in the beginning, but I'll end it with this, and it's actually Hargrave. I don't know. Did you catch Hargrave's video where he just kind of recaps Philosopher's Farewell?
that is the best Heartgrave video I've ever seen. I laughed so hard. He he says what I feel and just says it, and I love it sometimes.
Yeah. No, he and I bring that up because you were kind of talking about that with me previously a little bit, and in between certain parts of the show, just just about the big thing that you always kind of hit on is like kind of understanding that there's a content creator and then there's a community manager. There's differences, right? And being part of the Envoy doesn't mean that you're a community manager. And I think Hargrave understands that even more so because now he is in the Envoy, right? And
Heartgrave might keep going. Sorry.
no, I was gonna say, but that video, I'm gonna put a link onto it because it did speak for me. I think it speaks for others, and I don't think it was a shot. I mean, and some people kind of look into Hargrave as being kind of this negative guy or just kind of side of mean, for lack of better words, right? Like on certain things he says and does.
He cultivated that.
Yeah.
Like he did that himself. We don't like yeah, he made it so that you have to watch him now to see that it's not the same as it was a year ago.
And no, but the biggest thing off of that is that I think he hit, and it just really drives what you were kind of saying. It just reminded me when you just talk about the fun of the game and how you're enjoying it and stuff. He breaks it down so perfectly in the video, just understanding that, like, the Scorpio forces you, they grind you. If they know there's different levels of how you can play the game, and if you're going to want to go ahead and play it in regards to all hands on deck, be the first one to do this and that, they're still pushing the goalpost for you. And I think that's kind of what happened with Philosopher, right? Like he knew that he just I don't think he could have kept up with it as much as he wanted to spend on it and stuff like that. So I don't know. I had like better thoughts on it and started outlining it, but it's definitely a good video to watch. And I think it's just something there that kind of he really elaborated on the different levels of how you can play the game. And this is the frustration you're gonna have if you take it this seriously, or if you're pushing it or chasing it, or you can casually play it, right? And if you casually play it, you're gonna have fun with it. And I think that's a point that you're hitting on is that like not that you're truly casual, but you're that in between. You know that, and I should speak for myself. If there's certain things I want to do, if I want to get the latest character, and that makes me have fun with it, having a new character and being able to play with that new toy, then I'll look into doing that. So and I'll purchase that one character. But I also understand that there's no way I'm going to be getting like you're up 16 across the board. Like I'm not chasing that aspect of the game. I just go into the playing style and play the new characters and have the new battle tested against whatever opponents and so forth. And that's kind of where the fun is for me. But though those that are chasing, I think those are the ones that start kind of feeling the pressure of understanding. Forget like this is a game. This is where they want the money at, and you know him to argue about like, hey, you're playing too much time away from it. And I think that's where Hargrave was really hitting on it, right? Was like laughing at philosophers' complaints about them taking too much time or certain stuff like that. Like it's all part of mobile gaming now, I guess, right? Like people that are doing like Candy Crush too, right? They have different ways to become addicted
Exactly.
to it. So I don't know, but it's interesting. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up. So that way I can go ahead and I'm gonna show some videos here in a second. That way I can get that outline. Kind of we use it on the war instinct side of things. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of share the experience side now of Red Hulk. So we talked about his event, the unlock features, trying to see how much star levels you want to crank out of your Scourge points. And but then we'll segue into this next show here, and where I'm gonna show some footage of 600. I think my calculate it was 680k punch up that I did.
Ghost of Mookie kicking ass is what you're gonna do. I'm excited.
Yeah, so I'll show that 680k punch up there with the Gamma team versus the Dorm Hold. So stay tuned and enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy the Cosmic Crucible. Hopefully that season 1 kicks off correctly and Tower Mode. So y'all take it easy and see y'all next week. Bye bye.
Scourge.
Yep.